Guys, today is hot, so I'm not going outside, and it's almost 1:30, and I did a lot of laundry, a lot of futons hanging outside. You can see them. Everything is hanging outside. My little garden is there, and my babies are sleeping. He's so cute, and she's so cute. That's her favorite blanket. She cannot sleep without it. Thank goodness in the summer it dries in literally like an hour, less than that. Okay, so I'll let them sleep, and I'll be doing my video all over the house. So to start with, I found this a quote, which I will tie it up with the topic of my video today. By the way, totally out of topic, look at this. When people harvest so much, they give so much to the people around. So here it is. I have lots of celery. There will be lots of green smoothies going on in this house. Also, because it's nice and sunny, I finally can dry out the humidifiers / air cleaners. There are 2 of them. And I do not regret all the money I spent on them, because there's a whole lot of stuff here that goes by filters, but they're outside drying in the sunshine. And there's like a place here for the bottle with the water. And so those are amazing. They are amazing. And because of them, they clean the air. They make the air in the winter, because it's dry, they make it humid. And my kids don't get sore throat, so they don't get the flu or the corona or whatever. Okay, with that said, here's the quote I just found. I think it was either yesterday or a Saturday. I don't know. I just posted it on my Facebook wall. Oh gosh, it's nice to sit down on the couch a little bit. Okay, I can't believe they're falling asleep at the same time that recently they sleep in different times. This is Raleigh from Disney Junior. Anyways, the quote is from a leader of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He's one of the 12 apostles, and his name is Dieter F. Uchtdorf. He's from Germany, but he lives in the States and in Utah now. So the quote was saying something like that. I don't know word by word, but like basically, it was saying, do not give up on anyone. That include, don't give up on yourself. And so I understand the concept of don't give up on anybody, right? Like, no matter how hard it is on weekends. For me, I hate weekends, I have to tell you, because the kids are just, 5 of them is a lot to deal with. But that includes yourself. I never thought about that, to be honest. Like, I understand the concept, but I never really thought about that. And I was thinking a lot about that. And everybody's in a different situation, and everybody's found in different circumstances in life, and depending on what age they are and in what stage in their life they are in. And so I started thinking about, because I've been reflecting on what life has been for me since I moved here and started living here, not willingly, and turning 40 and still being here, and I've been reflecting a lot and on like life before here, and even wrote a post on my blog about what kind of person and what kind of things I liked to do before I was a mom, before I came to this country. And before I was a mom, like what are the things that I enjoyed to do? I thought I really enjoy doing that, actually, because it made me feel like, oh, I actually did things that I enjoy doing. And it now it's in the past, but some things I could probably still enjoy doing. And yeah, reflecting on the past helps me remember who I am and not giving up on myself. And so let me tell you what psychologically it does to you to live in a different place, isolated from other people, meaning not being able to meet up with people and talk, have this daily communication, interaction with others in a language that you understand and you can speak. It makes, eventually what happens is like you try at first, you try to find people, you try to be nice to everybody, you try to pick up some words here and there, and you try to make small talk with neighbors or people around you. And then eventually, because of the feeling of isolation and like being excluded, and people making choices and decisions for the whole household without your consent, and being just left out like that, it does something to yourself psychologically. So in a way, what starts happening, I think, is you start seeing yourself as less. You start seeing yourself as a person that is not trustworthy. You start doubting yourself. You start giving up on yourself. I'm serious. I mean it. It's just, there's no self-esteem. There's no it's hard to find words to communicate with people, like even make small talk with. I have to tell you guys, after raising my 3 kids, when I started working for my company and started teaching English in elementary schools, we would have those training meetings, and now they do them on Zoom because Corona. But before we take a train and we go to the kind of like the capital city of the prefecture. Every prefecture has like the main big city. So we would go there, and they would rent a conference room in a big building, and we'll go there and we'll have like a 4-hour block of updates, instructions, what's going on with the education system in Japan, and how we can improve our teaching skills and abilities to reach out. They were teaching us, the single person who is different and always will be treated differently, not because they're most of them blonde with blue eyes, but because you're just different. Like, you come from a different country. You come from the country of non-Japan. There is Japan, and there is outside of Japan is the country of non-Japan. And so people, I could feel like all the ALTs, all the teachers were so excited, including me, to just get together in that room and not only listen but interact with each other. And they would have like breaks, bathroom breaks and stuff. So we would talk to each other, and then on the trains we'll be talking to each other. And it was because when you are finished, when this whole thing is finished, of course I would rush back home with the first train I can catch, but the others will stay for dinner and drinks in that city, and then they'll take some later trains or whatever. And I think that interaction filled them up for energy for the next time, until the next time comes for a training. And I think the trainings were like 4 times a year or something like that. every 3 months or so. And so it does something to us psychologically. Like after they go back home, they go to their small apartment, and from the apartment they go to the schools, and they finish work and then go back to the apartment and maybe, get groceries. In the weekends, maybe they go somewhere around, maybe by two or three, or by themselves, and explore with their cars, or like travel abroad, like, visit those Southeast Asian countries here, or Korea, or whatever. Yeah, traveling is expensive in Japan too, by the way, because you have to use highways, and they're you have to pay. There's like this at the entrance, and you enter, and then at the end they tell you how much they abduct they took from your ETC card, or you pay cash or whatever. And so yeah, it does something to you. And I would come home and I would have my 3 kids to talk to. Most of the time it's my kids. And so I was going through all my blogs last night, and all the way to the first one. And when I was reading the titles, I was like, oh my gosh, I know what was that about. Oh, I know what that is about. And there was one that was saying something that my kids are my best friends, and it's true. From what I remember, ever since I take them home after school, after my work, I take them from the nursery school home, and they would just talk, and they were so small. I was always left with my kids alone, and there will be adults coming in and out, like there will be some other foreigners, like from church, coming to visit or whatever, but those people come and go. And my friends that I made from work, my Jamaican friends, I love them to death, but they're not around me anymore. They come and go. People come and go, and I'm the constant staying here. And so what it does to you is like, it's really weird situations. Like your husband, the native, the Japanese one, will do anything and everything possible, like paperwork, or like anything that is like connected to things around the house. And like, you don't have to learn the kanjis, and you don't need somebody to translate for your things so constantly. He does all that stuff, like the bills and everything that comes in the mail. He handles that. So I don't learn any of that. Like my ALT friends will know more about those things than I do, and they will know more about areas, and they will self-teach themselves, but I don't know anything about anything. So I don't know how to plan a trip. If I want to go with my kids somewhere by myself, it's nearby, because I don't know much about locations in different cities. Like I just know how to go to the church building in the distant city, and then to the big city, how to get there. But I don't really know even how to get to their mall. Like I could use Google Map, but I don't have confidence. And so it's like you become really this disabled person. It's like everything is done for you that needs to be done, but then you're left by yourself, like to figure out some things. And trust me, a lot of things I don't like how they work, and how it makes sense in their head, in their system. Everything makes sense. But for me, it's like, what, how, what, where, what kind of thing. And so, yeah. And so, like, slowly, I can feel like you either become one of them, like you try to mimic, you try to observe and see and act like them, or you're just completely lost and you have no idea what's going on, and it damages you so bad. Like it does something psychologically to you. You don't really know who you are anymore. Not to mention the fact that I'm a mom too. So when you're a mom, you are a caregiver. You don't really have time for yourself to figure out, oh, today I feel like I want to go jogging in the mountain and take the car out and then just turn on the engine and go. No, I can't do that. Husband can, I can't. I cannot really set up a meeting with somebody to just to get to know them, because they might be helpful in the future. Husband can do that. I can't. I have twins in the house. I can't. What else? I can't just go and say, oh, I have to go shopping. But not for the house and for the groceries. I just want to go shopping, for myself. I need new clothes. I can't do that. I have to count my coins. I have to count everything to the rest of the month, to the next 20th. So yeah, it does a lot of psychological damage here. And then you become this person that just exists for everything to work out perfectly in here. I don't know if Japanese ladies feel the same way. I don't know if they're okay with that lifestyle. They're just given some kind of allowance to. That's why ladies work in Japan, I feel like, because they want to be independent too. And maybe not all husbands are like that. Maybe some husbands do budget with their wives, and especially if both of them are the same nationality. But yeah, it's like, you don't give up on yourself. Like, I've done that. I have given up even on myself. I don't give up on my kids, believe it or not, but I have given up on this thing, marriage. I've given up on trust and in relationships with adults that you can trust and build a family with. And it's not helpful that I grew up in a family like that. My parents divorced when I was 9. And then before that, it was just constant conflicts all the time, or not talking to each other in the house. And so my theory was, I would do the opposite. I would just talk to my partner all the time. We'll figure things out, until actually I realized that that's not helpful either. And so unless there's like a psychologist to walk us through, and it's a process of like reaching out, I don't see any other help, because I've given up on talking to a person who is so set up with their own mentality and their own way of thinking and how comfortable they feel in their own country, that whatever I say, whatever I do, it's not changing anything. So in a way, the feeling is like you're in prison here because you have kids. You cannot just pack up your stuff and go. I mean, you could, but I can't. I love my kids way too much. And so I live for my kids. I exist for my kids, and I try to keep my body fit with walking and doing T25 workout, so that I can keep my body semi-healthy or recover from whatever pregnancies I've had in the past, and just be strong so I can help raise my kids and do physical work in the house that has to be done. And that's about it. So yeah, I've given up on myself too, because in a way, there is a lot of things I wanted to do. There's a lot of things I wanted to accomplish in this life. And there are a lot of hopes that I had to build a marriage and relationship of trust and love in the house. There was a lot of that, and I've tried so hard. I've tried to be like them. I've tried to accept how they're thinking. I've tried to reason. I've tried to ask whys. I've tried to compromise, but I think there's a limit of let's do this. And so I'm running out of it. There is no more patience there's no more trust. There's no more, like, I'm just existing here. And so yeah, I've been giving up on myself a lot, including my dreams and stuff. I mean, I'm already 40. Nobody even hires people that are 40 anymore. Like 20 is already late. Like, they think you're old already. What? Yeah. So with all that said, I just wanted to tie it up to a story. And for that, I have to go outside to tell the story. But it's about my neighbor, one of my neighbors. I am not in a good relationship with the neighbors around here because, one, I'm not Japanese, and two, I don't like, when I don't like something, I speak up. And, or at least I used to be like that. Now I'm like, hands up, I don't care. But before I was like, I would fight, and I would fight hard. When they decided it's okay to burn out their garden waste, and then all the smoke comes into my house and my laundry, and so I have to redo the laundry and hang it out again. And so I've done that. I've gone with buckets of waters to stop their smokes and fires with my kids. They've helped me to with bringing bottles because my hose doesn't go that far. I've yelled in Bulgarian and in English. I don't care if they don't understand a word. I don't care. I just have to let it out. And yeah, so I've been in conflict with them, but this particular one, she doesn't have garden waste and stuff. She doesn't have a garden, actually. She just has a house. And she's pretty old. And I noticed her son, who's, middle-aged guy, I don't know, comes a lot. I don't know if he lives here. I don't know. I've seen him with his son. I taught his son English in one of my schools before. I never knew that kid is his grandma is my neighbor. I had no idea. But so I don't know if the husband left his family or what, but I think he lives here and he walks a dog. I don't know. None of my business. None of my business. But here's the thing. So where her wall is and where the boundary of our properties, I want to say like the property I live in, it's not mine, and her property, there is like I was not sure where the line is. So I'm gonna go outside and I'll show you guys so you have a better idea. I have fruit trees, and those fruit trees are, they belong to the boys. We got them, one of them has apple tree, the other one has cherry tree, the other one has a peach tree. And this year we added some more trees. It's kind of bright outside, huh? But so this is part of her place. This is our house here. This is our house. This is her house. So see where those surfing boards are? This is her land. Like this here, this is her land. This is her wall. This is my little garden. So from where the dirt ends is our place. So right now I'm walking on her property. Can you see that? And so this is where I live. This is not my property, right? So I didn't know that until yesterday, actually. So let me introduce you to my walnut tree. It came as a walnut from Bulgaria. My dad sent it to me. Now it's a tree. There were 4 of them. 2 others made it, but they didn't make it because people killed them. This is a peach tree. Never seen so weird peach tree before in my life, to be honest with you. Peach trees don't look like that back home. So this one I have to support it probably because there is a branch that is falling off. Anyway, so I'm gonna go under that and I'm gonna go introduce you to I don't know if it's a blackberry, but it's some kind of berry, this one. Okay, this one is a lemon tree. It has already some flowers. We got this one recently in the spring. Those are my avocado trees. I planted them and they were at home all winter, and so I just took them out now. There's one more coming out. It's pretty cool. This is a tree I'm gonna talk about. This tree is my apple tree. It belongs to one of my boys. This apple tree last year gave fruit. The apples, it still has fruit this year too. The apples are really yummy. They're really sweet and yummy. However, because of typhoons, the tree was leaning this way. And so what I did was I tried to, I'll show you guys. See this little string here? It's supporting this branch because this branch gets really heavy with apples. So it was like almost falling down to the ground last year. So the apples are of course ready by fall. And so I used this kind of string and I tied the tree up and I put the string all the way here to this one. And I put the on this pole here too. So this is her wall, right? Keep that in mind. This is her wall and this is pretty much her stuff too. So I'm right now stepping on her stuff. So 2 weeks ago I noticed 2 Saturdays, so not last Saturday, the previous Saturday, I noticed that those were taken off and the tree was down. So I put them back up. And I thought it was like the kids, because you know kids come in here and play. But then I was like, wait, kids don't really, I made this little kind of like boundary so kids don't come in. And so I was wondering what's going on, so I just put them back in. But then during the week I noticed a few more times that, and I kept putting it here. And so this Saturday I noticed the same thing. I was doing my laundry, which is like right there, and I noticed that the tree's back down again. And so I was like, this cannot be kids. I don't think that's the kids. And so, you know, I was thinking it's probably the neighbor, because I mean, you know, nobody goes inside here, you know, and it has to be somebody from the other side. And so I go to her place. I'll show you. I go to her place, and so this is her place. Let me show you my cherry tree. This is a cherry tree. I kind of trimmed it, but I have to trim it more. And it grows really fast, really. So this is hers. This is hers. Ours is this one here. So from this rock. And so I go to her place, and this is her place. And so this is the poles. So think like she's not that tall, so she has to climb on something to get those out, the strings out from the iron pole there. It's not really that I mean, look at that, you guys. I'm pretty tall and I still have to, you know, go up. So she probably had to climb on something to get them out, but she did it every time. And she said, and she came and we talked here on the border. We talked, and so she tells me that how from her house, when she looks up down here, she sees that it looks really strange. So she said it looked really strange for her, and plus it's her property, so what am I doing, kind of thing. And so you have to understand that, to me, that's okay. I understand this wall is not mine. Now I understand this wall is not mine. She showed me the border. So now I understand that. So I will back off. I took the strings right away. And you know, like, I accept the fact that it looks weird. But then she comes here. She comes here to my property, and I'm there taking the strings off. She comes here to my property, and she starts telling me how I should take care of my trees, and how this tree has to be up too, like my fig tree has to be up too. So we have an olive tree here and a cherry tree and some strawberries. But so this tree was like pushed from typhoons a lot, and so last night what I did is, like, I dug out around the roots a lot, and so I stabilized it that way. But see how they're like two main branches, and then this one goes here, and you know, apples go down, and just, you know, it has to be supported. So my oldest son found this rod, like a metal stick. So I dug it really deep and put it in there, and the tree's now stabilized a little bit with it. And then we pushed it up a little bit and put a lot of dirt and like yeah, anyways, so it's better now, much better. And I'm not gonna use her wall like ever again. And I even asked her if it's okay to have the boards there. So I don't know what she said. She was speaking to me in Japanese, and she was like really what's the word, she was really kind of like arrogant, talking to me like, what am I thinking, who do you think you are, kind of thing. And so I was like speaking back at her like, I don't understand what you're saying, you know, but I, you know, I'm sorry about what I did, but I'll tell you guys what pissed me off the most. Okay, I'll tell you what pissed me off. And I told her in the most arrogant Japanese that I could use. Not arrogant, but like, my Japanese is very limited of how to express myself, and I don't give a crap if it's like offending or not offending people. I just told her this: next time, can you please come to me and tell me, instead of 2 weeks putting it off the strings and me putting them up and you putting them off. I'm a person, you're a person. We can communicate something. If you want to talk to my husband, talk to my in-laws, talk to somebody, just tell them, tell us, okay, this is my land. I understand. I'm not born yesterday. I understand. Please, that's what pissed me off. Come and tell me. I would do it. I would gladly do it. And then I'll use sticks. I'll just use whatever I find. I'll take care of my trees. That's what pissed me off. And so she was like, okay, something like that. And then she just kept standing in front of me on our property, telling me how I should take care of my trees. And I was like, I just told her, leave my property. It's not my, like, leave the property, and I don't need your advice. And I just walked away. And my boys were there. They were just listening to us. They didn't really interfere because, you know, even in Japanese, it's kind of like they wouldn't, you know, do much because they're still kids. But I just broke down, and because I never have the back of anybody. Like, this guy here was cooking some fish like his friends brought, and he was really busy with his fish. Like, he wouldn't leave his fish. He had to take care of his fish. He wouldn't come down there and, you know, say anything. Like, I never had his back about anything that is like people smoking the area. I would go with the boys and buckets of water, and I wouldn't have his back about anything. One time, I even remember, I came home from work. Shush, Chloe. Look at that fluff. I came from home. Across the street there was a grandpa burning everything, and it was thick smoke. I mean, thick smoke coming towards our house. My laundry was still outside. I cannot explain to you guys. It was just thick smoke, gobs of it coming towards our house. And so I'll show you. I'll show you because so you can have visual. Actually, I just have it with those people. So it's still here. Like, I was with this car coming home, and across the street there, so not this field here with the dirt, but behind it there is a one, if you see, with the like some kind of like, yeah, that he has lots of things. He has corn and like tomatoes and like vegetables. And so he was making a whole lot of smoke and fire, like bonfire kind of thing. And so I get off the car, and this guy was here on his desk. That's probably before the boys were home. I don't know. So he's here at his desk, and this is the boys' desks, and this is where they do their homework. And this is my desk, but I don't use it anymore for now because I don't go to work. But so I go there through this field because like on the borders of this field. And I go there and I just look at that grandpa. I was furious. I'm coming from work. My laundry is still outside. The house probably smells like this guy. It's not gonna go and just close windows and whatever. Who cares? And so I go there and I just stand there with my work clothes, and which is like black pants and like white shirt and black suit jacket, and just have to look official and stuff and work, the ethic code, whatever the, anyways. So I go there and he just looks at me and he's like, I think he got it. He was like, ah, kusai na. He was like, oh, it's stinky. And so I was like, I just kept standing there in the smoke. I probably looked like a ghost in the smoke. Seriously, it was really thick smoke. And then I come back here, furious. And I just look at this guy. He just looks through the window. He just looks at me. What am I gonna do there? And didn't do anything, didn't say anything, didn't have my back for anything. So, you know, it's illegal to do that. But if you have fields, if you're a farmer, it's legal. I don't know what legal, I don't know where the silver lining is between legal and illegal. But like, even if you have a field, like those are all fields here, their houses, like this is a house, this is a house, there's a house, their houses everywhere between the fields. So that makes it like really nonsense to me. And so I've lived with a lot of anger in the summers and in the fall, especially after they harvest the rice and they burn everything. They burn the fields, and the fields are like right here, right there, right over there, and smoke everywhere. And I was like, can those people just maybe start the burning process in the evenings or something, when people took their laundry in already? I don't know. And I keep the windows open for fresh air, and it's just, I mean, I've lived with lots of anger, you guys, but this neighbor yesterday, she just pushed my buttons really hard. And because my kids see it, and I, you know, when I'm just so much in rage, I just start crying. And so I went to the garden and I just did some physical work. I wanted to prepare my land for, I have a little narrow garden where I wanted to make it like a tomato plantation, just have tomatoes there growing. And so I just did that a little bit and cried a little bit and just let it out of my system. And I was, you know, telling my kids how, you know, we still have to love our neighbors. And even if I wanted to bite my tongue when I was saying that, or like hiss it through my teeth, I still think it's important to teach the kids a principle of, it's easy to hate somebody. It's easy to hate her right now. It's so easy to hate her and to avoid her next time I go with the stroller out with the babies and she's outside watering her mini tiny pots of whatever she has them there growing. It will be really hard, but I need to forget and forgive. And some people out there are probably thinking, well, it was your fault, right? Like you were doing something on her property. Like, I didn't know, you guys. I had no idea. I wouldn't do something to mess up with people on purpose and to make them angry. I wouldn't do that. And I don't want to be in a bad relationship with my neighbors, but I also don't want my kids to know that conflict is the way out. No. And so I have to pray about it. I have to pray a lot about it. I have to mention that in our family prayers probably, so the kids can understand that we need heavenly help to get that rage and subdue it and move on with the clear heart and clear conscience and no bad thoughts towards anybody. It's hard. I think it's hard, but it's doable. What she made me do last night is I actually dug around the tree, and the tree is actually really strong and straight right now, and it has a metal pole to support it that my kid found somewhere in the junk. So I'm you know, in reality, what we did was actually a good thing. The only thing that I got pissed off with is how she kept pushing the string without communicating with me, you know. I don't appreciate people like that. And to tie it up with my topic about trust, don't lose hope in yourself too, is like, I have become so much know myself in a way. I don't step up for my opinion. I just let people walk all over me because I've been living here and I have like zero. I've lost this the me that stands up for herself and does things on her own, and it's just gross and I don't like it. I don't like the way I am right now, and that rage I have to live with and deal with and for years. And when I read about other women who are married to a Japanese and live here, I read the same thing. Those ladies, they just become angry and negative, and it's really weird because you live with around among people who are always so nice and kind and look so helpful, and but then excluding you at the same time. It's just really weird. It's just really messed up. It's really messed up, and so I don't like it. And I'm gonna finish this video because it's really long now. I'm sorry about that, but I'm just gonna title it Love Your Neighbor. And that's all for today, guys.